if you don't love Americans. And you can't be president if you hate the American people.
Well, that is the latest ad from the Trump campaign that just dropped on Truth Social. Donald Trump talking about the love for the American people that leaders need to have. We are joined right now by Indiana Congresswoman Victoria Spartz. She is a member of the House Judiciary Committee and has been very active traveling across the country to help elect fellow Republicans. In fact, I believe you are heading to Pennsylvania after this interview today. Congresswoman Spartz, a pleasure to have you today. Tell us about what you think you've been seeing there and what you've been seeing in the past weeks.
Thank you so much, Bianca, for having me. I think we can see that, when Harris is now resorting back to the, assassination of Kerry campaign, and because they don't have policy, they cannot win in policy, and really identity politics, they're losing because American people understand what these people are up to, and they start having this rhetoric. And it's kind of funny that President Trump, turned it against them, because truly this is elitist view. I don't think actually, President Biden misspoke. They truly believe that they're superior to everyone else. They truly believe this elitists in Washington, D.C. that want to be ruling class and tell us what to do. But American people are freedom-loving people, and people on the ground understand no matter what rhetoric they have, people want to have equality of rights, people want to have good economy, people want to make sure that we have secure border and have rule of law in our country, not to be run by cartels. We need to get out and send that message, but more and more people start waking up, and I think the tide is moving in our direction. That's why they're so desperate and start doing the things that they're doing. But we cannot take it for granted, and we have to be on the ground and make sure that we seal the deal.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what you're doing. There are reports, and when the House GOP switched to the GOP, a lot of, things were revealed regarding the Biden family and a lot of the finances. But there is concern the House could flip from Republican to Democratic control now in 2024. It's not a given, but our Tom Basile spoke to Speaker Mike Johnson just hours ago talking about how many seats are at play in the House. I want to play Speaker Johnson's response.
Because of gerrymandering and redistricting, the number of actual toss-up seats in swing districts has dwindled pretty substantially in recent years. So of the 435 seats, it really comes down to probably 20 or less that are the actual toss-up seats. So
what do you think about that? Do you think that you can retain control of the House?
Well, I think one thing is important. Definitely, they have advantage with money, but they have to sell pretty radical socialist message. But they do have advantage. They are just printing money, and that is a challenge for a lot of these races. We have better policy, we have better candidates, we have better agenda, and really better things for the American people. But it's hard when you don't have honest mainstream media, and then you'll have a lot of money attacking. But it's also, will be depends. And I think it's important for viewers of your programs. There is a lot of in this district. President Trump is winning, and a lot of Republicans and his voters are very upset with Republicans, which I understand. I belong to the same group. But we need to make sure that they'll give Republican House a chance, because we will have impeachment from day one if we're not going, even if President Trump wins and we don't hold the House. So I would like to beg your voters to give us a chance and actually support Republicans, and then show us that we can govern, because we need to have a line in the White House, but we need to have Republican control.
Right. Two things I want to get to in our final minute here. Do you think Mike Johnson will remain Speaker of the House?
Well, I think he might have a tough election if we have a very tight majority, because there are a lot of people, very upset with some of the things, that some of the battles we didn't take and didn't win. So I think it's going to be a big deliberation. So it was tough. He inherited a lot of problems, but we're going to decide who's going to be the best leader to govern. I mean, hopefully we'll have opportunity for that, but it's depending on how tight the majority is going to be.